All right, everyone. Welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Wednesday, May 31st, 2017. All right, so today we still have the moon in Leo, the constellation that has to do with self-expression, creativity, having a bit of fun in our life. So when the moon's here, we could be feeling this emotionally, maybe wanting this. And so I think today is great for that, expressing ourselves and maybe having a bit of fun. Now, the sun is, of course, in Taurus, and this whole lunar cycle was in Taurus, started in Taurus. So this is all about the resourceful aspects of ourselves. So I think still, though, even with this fire, at the moment, this whole cycle is about Earth. It is about taking these steady approaches towards cultivating our values in life, stopping to enjoy things along the way. You know, maybe a bit of that luxuriousness, our senses, you know, invoking the enjoyment of the material world and being grateful for what we have. So all of that grounded stuff really does give us energy right now at the moment, especially when we are taking things slow and steadily. So that's the placements, but today we do have a grand trine taking place with the moon. Some very nice aspects today, actually. The moon's going to go over the north node, who's been trining up to Saturn and up to Uranus, and Venus is getting close to Uranus too. So this whole grand trine, I think, is very good for the life path. I think there will be collectively a new shift to that life path. I think we're feeling quite grounded here today, which is good with Saturn. And with Uranus-Venus, maybe quite liberating. In fact, from yesterday, we still do have Mars sextiling up to Uranus. So maybe there are some different types of actions we can take today. Maybe bringing in some freedom in our life, liberating ourselves today. Free yourself from any limitation that maybe we felt earlier in the week, Sunday, Monday time, when we had Mars opposite Saturn. So along with all that, Mercury is trining up to Pluto. So our mind is going to, I think, our minds collectively are going to be quite deep. Very good for research, uncovering hidden things, psychology, understanding more about ourselves psychologically, and really cutting down to the surface of what matters most to us in life. All right, so a lot of nice aspects. Let's go and look at this in more detail when we return. All right, so there is the moon going over the north node in Leo. Our emotional body could be feeling quite expressive or wanting a bit of this expressive energy in our life. Does make it good for entertainment, makes it good for any creative projects and anything that does involve really just accessing that playful, more lighthearted aspect of ourselves. So with that, we feel emotionally rooted, stable and secure when we're involved with these things, when we're talking about the moon. Now, the sun in Taurus, Mars shifting out of Taurus slowly but surely, but still a lot of this earthy energy. Still great to be focused on the things we value in life. And we are coming up to the first quarter phase here tomorrow more specifically, but we may start to feel the shift that, this week is about an actively taking steps, setting intentions, taking steps towards cultivating any values, anything that we have been considering since late last weekend in terms of what we can muster up with our resources, our inner resources and outer resources in order to cultivate the things we truly do enjoy in life. All right, so let's look at the placements, or the aspects, because there is quite a lot going on here today. All very supportive collectively. Of course, your individual chart is going to determine this the most. You may have some squares. This might be squaring up to your natal planets or whatever in your birth chart, but collectively, things are looking quite supportive. So coming off of yesterday, Mars still sextiling up to Uranus, suggesting a bit of freedom. It's not a major aspect, but I think there is this sort of opportunity here to take some different action, right? Some different action, mix things up a little bit, liberate ourselves a little bit, and I think fundamentally just making some changes in terms of what we want that is more of an expression of what we're truly about, right? So great for innovation. We could even be feeling a bit confident, especially as Mars is lifted off of that Saturn, maybe not as limiting. So there is that sort of free-spirited sort of energy, progressive energy, innovative energy, certainly in the mix here today, and really good for taking any types of action or cultivating our personal needs. So along with that, Mercury is trining up to Pluto, which makes it very good for anything that does involve deep diving. Mercury, the planet of our minds, trining up to Pluto, the planet of everything hidden in life. And this supportive aspect can make it very good to do that. So you could be channeling this maybe into your work, really good for restructuring your work, maybe your routine, getting down to the bottom of things. Maybe it's with your personal development. Maybe this is about learning more about yourself psychologically, spiritually, really connecting to what matters most to you personally in life. But I think fundamentally, I think there's just some really good concentration with this, a really sharp mind usually, and anything that normally was hidden we can see. So anything that any way you want to channel this into your life in terms of really seeing the deep truth that maybe you may have not wanted to see before, is certainly an orb. So again, this could be facing some fears, accepting some things in our life, but we're not forced to do it. We're just willing to do it, and this could lead to some powerful changes depending on how you channel this, especially if, again, you're using your mind to think about things, maybe writing things down, or even communication can be very deep and very meaningful at this time. So very nice aspect there, two very nice aspects. And on top of that, we do have a grand trine taking place, really supporting all of this. So the grand trine focal point, at least in terms of the monthly cycle, is that the moon's going over the north node. And so once a month this happens, and this is a sort of new shift to our life path. And it's a reminder that this year, as was last year, collectively for all of us, it is a time of discovering that self-expression, what it is we enjoy in life, what it is we're passionate about, what it is we find fun. And so there's a new chapter. And if your life path starts to shift here today, I think you'll start to notice that there's a whole new beginning about cultivating these things that you're interested in, essentially with Leo. It may be very fiery, it may be very watery for some of you, mostly depending on where Leo is in your chart. But anyways, a new beginning to that life path. And along with that, there's a lot of stability with this. The moon trining up to Saturn suggests that we are willing to take things slow today. We are willing to see the big picture, be patient, responsible, that sort of thing. And what's probably the most important in terms of this week is that the trine up to Venus and Uranus is taking place, and that's going to go. That conjunction is going to go exact later in the week. They are getting closer to each other in Pisces. So the trine up to that is that we've got even more liberation in the mix. We've already got Mars sextiling up to Uranus, but now the moon is trining up to Uranus and Venus. So mixing things up, freedom. Uranus is all about that higher octave of ourself that is truly free, is truly liberated, isn't bound by anything based on heavy fears or density, right? Of course, we do want to stay balanced with it, but I think with all the supportive aspect, I don't think that's going to be an issue because Uranus is trining up to Saturn, and that's been going on since late last year. So we have the stability and the wanting of freedom, and this can certainly synergize at this time. So yes, and enjoy things. Venus, trine up to Venus, today could be a great day for enjoying things, especially with all this Taurus energy, enjoying the simple pleasures of life, as I was talking about, but also relationships as well. There can be a lot of support with our one-to-one connections. All right, and this is all in Pisces, mind you, and I'll talk more about this later in the week, this conjunction. But this is all about this letting go, right? Surrendering everything outside of our control, which can be very liberating as a result. Okay, so that's the day, generally speaking. I would say all three of these are very important, the most impactful things here today. Mars sextile Uranus, taking a bit of free action, freedom in our life. Some action, some steps towards cultivating some of that freedom, liberation, and mixing some things up. Along with that, Mercury trining up to Pluto, a bit of depth, seeing the deep truth, connecting to what matters most in life, uncovering hidden things with our mind, speaking it with communication, maybe making some changes in our life with our routine to facilitate whatever this deep awareness is that we have at this time. The grand trine taking place with this new beginning to our life path, which is about self-expression, and trine up to Saturn, giving us the stability here, the big picture perspective, as well as the freedom, the willingness to mix things up, change things, so our life is more enjoyable. We can connect to things we enjoy, and yeah, find the freedom of that. But this, you know, Uranus, Venus, the freedom to our values, the freedom to our relationships will go exact a bit later in the week. All right, so very nice day. As we go into tomorrow, Venus is starting to trine up to Saturn. So there is stability exact going on tomorrow. But yeah, we'll be feeling that with the Grand Trine. All right, so that's the day in a nutshell. Still grounded with Taurus. Remembering, too, this whole cycle is about cultivating our values, our resources, inner and outer. And, of course, the moon in Leo today, self-expression can be very enjoyable. It can just help us feel nice and emotionally rooted, grounded, specifically anything that just brings in just a little bit of fun and passion and interest in our life. All right, so have a great day, everyone. Thank you for all of your support, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.